Here's Bradley Clark's version, which Bradley created after listening to our immigration myth-busting podcast with Professor Zeke Hernandez. Bradley said the episode with Professor Zeke was, quote, one of the best podcasts he's heard in a while. Oh, shucks, Bradley. Chad&Cheese Tattoo in 2025. So we're going to need a promotion around this event, and we might use this art.
Are you saying this is a tattoo?
This might be the tattoo. This might be the tattoo.
Welcome to All Things Scottish.
Oh, and that crazy motherfucker would do it too. Holy shit.
Oh, he would do it.
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad&Cheese podcast.
Oh, yeah. Two guys who would rather be at a dance party with Beyonce. Hey, boys and girls, it's the Chad&Cheese podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel Grover Cleveland Cheeseman.
And this is Chad Deja Vu Sowash.
And on this episode, LinkedIn keeps printing money. Google takes ghosting to a whole new level. And wait a minute, let me check my notes. Was there an election? What? Was there an election recently? I don't. Let's do this.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
Whew, man, it's deja vu all over again.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Chad, you look fine. Good God, man.
Oh yeah, look at where
Living
I'm at,
your
man.
Best life.
I'm in Nazaré, Portugal, which is for anybody who's watched the Netflix series. That's where the 100-foot waves, the biggest waves in the world. Literally, if you're on YouTube, you can see me pointing. They're right there. Yep. Literally right there. Yeah, it's pretty freaking amazing. So we're here in Nazaré for a few days, going to Cascais for a few days, and then hopping over to Spain, Cadiz, and Gibraltar, which it's funny because Portugal is about the size of Indiana, right? So it's kind of like, I'm visiting Louisville and Cincinnati, but it's Sintra,
Kish,
it's Cadiz,
Kish, Bloomington. What's the difference? What's the difference? You are a poster child for the expat movement for sure. You are living your best life.
Just great timing. That's all it is. It's just great timing.
Yeah, it's rainy and gloomy here in the Midwest. I'm sure you'll appreciate that, being in the sunshine of Portugal. So election talk. We're gonna be inundated with the Monday morning quarterbacks, the autopsy reports. Oh, yeah. But what's your take? What was it like watching from Portugal, the European vibe? What's your thought? What's your take on the election and the results?
I mean, the American people have spoken again. I mean, it is what it is. That's why we hold elections. But it's funny because I've received more messages this morning, probably because they're up earlier and I'm 5 hours ahead of you. But I received more messages from Europeans than I have from Americans. I don't know if that's because Americans are, in the fetal position in the corner somewhere. I don't know what that's all about. But I have received many messages. How about yourself?
Are you okay? Is it, what are your thoughts? Are you surprised? Like, is it like for your mental health, or is it just for like FYI, like information from an American about an American election? when
Yeah,
the
no, I
Europeans
mean,
contact you?
at the end of the day, they were like, wow, you really saw that coming. I'm sure you're glad you have a place in Portugal. And it's like, well, I mean, that was going to be the transition no matter what, right?
Yep.
But, whether that hastens the transition or who knows, man. But, it's one of those things. Luckily, I have a wonderful wife who focuses on contingency planning. And so here we are.
You're so healthy. You're so healthy. Yeah, there's a lot of meltdown going on here in the U.S., as you can imagine.
I'm sure.
My very, very liberal Canadian wife isn't having her best day of the year for sure.
I'm sure.
That'll be an interesting thing to deal with. I was reminded literally 30 years ago, 1994, there was the Republican Revolution. Do you remember that? The contract with America, Newt Gingrich and the Republicans taking over, Congress and everything. And it was, the world was going to end and change. And this is a new morning in America. Well, you guess what? Clinton stayed in for another term. The Republicans lost seats in the House and Senate. Like, this is kind of what we do in America. If you don't like it, you got 2 years to try to make a change. But I remember sitting with my grandmother, who was an icon in Bartholomew County politics back in the 60s and 70s, and me thinking like, wow, this is a really big deal. And her saying, things really don't change a whole lot. Don't get too excited about what just happened. And as I age, she's kind of right. Like this, the ups and downs happen. I mean, as far as the autopsy on the election, I first thought of it as sort of tactical, the errors that she made. I said when she first picked Walz that she might regret not picking Shapiro if she loses Pennsylvania. I was shocked to see it looks like Michigan's going to go red, even though the labor unions, the Sean Fains, those initiatives. And also I thought that she could have made a better effort to gain the or engage with Nikki Haley voters. I think there's 20% of Republicans, of which I probably put myself in that bucket, of we don't really connect with the Trump MAGA stuff, but we're also like we're McCain, Cheney type Republicans. And I thought that there was an opportunity. I know.
I was one of those at one time.
Yeah.
I was one of those at one time.
Chad, we've been told that we have a face for podcasting.
Yeah. Speak for yourself, man. One thing that I do know, and I just got this from the analytics department over at YouTube and Sergey, our video guy, 80% of the people who actually watch our videos are loyal watchers. They're back, right? They don't hit the subscribe button. So, hey kids, hit the subscribe button. Tell them why, Joel.
Let's be honest. They're not. There's some degenerates listening to the show on a regular basis. But yes, I think if you're not tuned into us on YouTube, you're missing some exclusives that you can't get on the show. You're getting outfits that I don't normally wear on the show, or does Chad. Euro Chad, you can't really appreciate Euro Chad unless you see Chad. The voice doesn't really come out. You get to see me in glamorous locations. Like right now, I'm in Canada visiting the in-laws. If you couldn't tell, I'm in a Canadian state of mind. So you're missing out on a lot if you're not watching us on YouTube and just listening to us on your favorite podcast platform of choice. And I felt like there wasn't much, like I received no direct mail about, hey, if you're a Nikki Haley voter, consider Kamala Harris. But I think it goes deeper than a tactical issue. Well, for money, they could ask for money. Our money spends just as good as anyone else's. But I think it's just deeper than that. I said on last week's show with Emmy that this felt like angry men versus scared women, and whoever was going to come out the most was going to win. And clearly the angry men came out, and I was surprised to see Black men, Hispanic men come out in the numbers that they did. So I think ultimately it's going to be good for the Democrats. Look, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. You can't get the clothes clean unless you have an agitator, and like your favorite, the best disinfectant is sunlight. I think that this is a good opportunity for the Democrats to reboot. They have a good bench. They have good young talent. Like, let's throw them in the game and see what happens. So I think ultimately it's going to be good for the Democrats. But it's going to be painful if you're not a fan of Trump and Trumpism and the MAGA movement, because with the Senate swinging and the House and and SCOTUS, like Trump's going to get his way for the next 2 years. So buckle up and hope for the best, I guess. It'll be fun fodder for the podcast.
To your comment, if you don't like it, well, CNBC, an article actually entitled, quote, "Record numbers of wealthy Americans are making plans to leave the U.S. after the election." Apparently, as Twisted Sister once said, we're not going to take it. And as immigration attorneys are seeing a growing number of wealthy Americans making plans to leave the country. Among the attorneys cited in the article, David Lesperance, managing partner of Lesperance and Associates, an international tax and immigration firm, said the number of Americans hiring his firm for possible moves overseas have roughly tripled over the last year. Now, here in Portugal, they have pretty much done away with the golden visa, or the, I guess you can call it, buy your way to citizenship program. But if you're looking to invest, you may want to take a look into the citizenship programs in another country in the Caribbean islands, which are a great place to check out. Dominica, the island of Dominica, if you invest only $200,000, you have an option to actually be a citizen. St. Lucia, you've heard of that one, $240,000. St. Kitts, $250,000. $235,000 for Grenada. $230,000 for Antigua. Or if you just want to spend a little bit more money and you want to try some other countries, Turkey, Malta, or Austria are also on the list. They're just a little bit more expensive. So, we'll see. We have options, especially the people with money definitely have options.
People with money always have options. So shout outs, as I think you've already started, are sponsored by our friends at Kiora Text Recruiting Made Simple. And by the way, those guys are from Canada.
We were doing our movie. Don't wreck our show.
They're probably more scared than we are.
I get to hear for 4 years about how we're moving to Canada. So Canada's going to have a special place in my heart in the Trump administration. But my first shout out goes to Draft Board. Board, Chad, a former Firing Squad interview. If you haven't checked that out, go to chadcheese.com, search for it, and you'll find it. I think I gave him the guns. I don't remember exactly what you did, but I got
double guns,
email.
I think
double guns is probably right. Got an email from them. They are pivoting out of the business. What they did was, if you remember, H3, Jobster, Refer.com, Zoopka, Y or Z, Karma One, LinkedIn referrals, et cetera, the idea like, hey, I'm going to shotgun my network and they're going to apply to jobs. I'm going to get rich on people applying to jobs that I market for companies. The idea, although a good one, and I said it in Firing Squad, it never fucking works. Stop it. Stop the business of affiliate programs for sharing jobs and getting paid. Draft Board is just the latest loser in this game. Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. We're here to give you public service announcements and save you a lot of time and money. They raised $4 million, and it's all probably down the tubes unless this pivot works out. And we know how pivots usually work.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Yeah, they don't. They don't really work that often.
That was actually January of this year. So, I mean, it hasn't been a full year since we actually talked to Josh. And yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing from startups over and over and over is that they have founders coming outside of the industry into this industry. They don't have the experience. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the connections network. They don't have any of those things, but they do have the money, right? Silicon Valley money in many cases. And they think that is going to make them bulletproof. And unfortunately, that's just not the case, which is one of the reasons why, if you are not from this industry, you need to find people, advisors who are in this industry to be able to help and guide you through that kind of stuff. So unfortunately,
some old guys with historical perspective is always nice. Some old guys that remember 2003 are nice to bring
possibly
into the mix if you can.
Possibly. I wasn't pitching us, but yeah, possibly. Next shout out, I'm gonna share this one. You're gonna love this. Is to Bradley Clark and Stephen McGrath for Chad&Cheese listener-made art. Here's Bradley Clark's version, which Bradley created after listening to our immigration myth-busting podcast with Professor Zeke Hernandez. Bradley said the episode with Professor Zeke was, quote, one of the best podcasts he's heard in a while. Oh, shucks, Bradley. That's sweet.
He's Canadian, though, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. The nice comments.
He is. Now I got to go back and I've got to find the other one because this is freaking hilarious. Then we have, after I posted Bradley's great art skills on the socials, not to be outdone by a Canadian, our favorite Scott, Stephen McGrath, posted the following Chad&Cheese art, which is a great segue as Stephen has agreed, I think you know this, to get a Chad&Cheese tattoo in 2025. So we're going to need a promotion around this event, and we might use this art.
Are you saying this is a tattoo?
This might be the tattoo. This might be the tattoo.
Welcome to All Things Scottish.
And that crazy motherfucker would do it too. Holy shit!
Oh, he would do it. He's already got the go ahead from Natasha. Natasha said he can do it. So if she said he can do it, he can do it.
That's almost as good as free shit. Almost as good as free shit, Chad.
But it's not, because if you do want free shit, and obviously you want to have the cool shit that Chad&Cheese send right to your doorstep. T-shirts from Aaron App, the nice. I mean, they feel like butter on your skin. They feel like a hug from Chad&Cheese. T-shirts from Aaron App, bourbon barrel aged syrup for our friends over at Kiora, beer, craft beer from Aspen Tech Labs. Love those guys. Whiskey from 2 bottles, by the way, 2 bottles of whiskey from Tex Colonel, aka Bullhorn. And if it is your birthday, there's an opportunity to win rum from Plum if you go to chadcheese.com/free and register.
I know I can.
If you don't register,
I can feel it all the way down in my plum.
You can't win. You got to be in it to win it. All right, celebrating another trip around the sun. It's a short list this week. Dale Grand, Graham Ferguson, Louis Gleichner, Jarvis Carell, David Roddy, David George, Eric Clemens, Kayla Campbell, Bill Glenn, Stephen Grover, and Chris Campbell celebrating a birthday this week. Thanks for listening, and have a few on us. Traveling, other than Chad's hopscotches around,
bouncing all over the place.
Bouncing all around the place. I don't know if he'll be able to get any football games while he's in Portugal. I think he's got a nice nice connection there that he's circumventing the authorities.
I do.
So he'll probably
Dave Ralph is hooking me up with a dodgy stick with a dodgy stick.
I don't even know what that is. So, what's a dodgy stick?
Oh yeah. That anything that's dodgy in Europe is, that's kind of dodgy.
Ireland
it's not
for sure
quite
is
right. Oh yeah, it's not quite right. So you get a Fire Stick, and then you jailbreak it, and then you get like all the programs on it, and every single, at least I don't want to say European, but I do know that just about every single Brit I know has one of these dodgy sticks, and
dodgy sticks.
good Irishman, Dave Ralph. Thank you, sir. We'll get that dodgy stick taken care of soon.
So you do get to see football. So aside from seeing Ohio State's fantastic win over number 3 ranked Penn State, you see your NFL games. So let's get to our fantasy football leaderboard. Fantasy football, of course, Chad, is sponsored by our friends at Factory Fix. Let's get to it. In first place, second week in a row, it's me, motherfucker. It's me. Number 1 again. That's right. Followed by Dean the Daddy Macro, David Stiffel, Jennifer Terry Tharp, Chad Sowash in the 5th spot. You're right there in the chunky middle, not getting too cocky, not falling behind. That's good. Followed by Keith Sonderling, Christy Lisbon, Laura Martinelli, Dina Pero for Pyros, Axon Jackson Dahlquist, Adam Gordon, as much as he wants to be at the bottom, Sean Horton Here's a Who just loves that last place
He does.
spot. Boy, I'll
He
tell you,
enjoys it.
geez, he loves that. He loves it. All right, can I make it 3 weeks in a row? You got to tune in next week to find out. That is
I just
Factory
looked at
Fix
who you were
sponsored.
playing. I think you can make it. Yeah, I think you can make it. Yeah, it should be an easy
Who
week.
is it? I
Should be
haven't
an
even
easy
looked.
week. Yeah, I think it's bottom. It's bottom
Who is
third.
it?
It's bottom third. I can't remember, but it's bottom third.
No names.
Yeah.
We're not mentioning
No.
names.
No.
But we do mention names in the
Topics.
All right, let's talk a little hybrid, shall we? A 6-month experiment with over 1,600 employees recently showed that hybrid work had no negative impact on productivity, performance, or promotion rates. Instead, it significantly improved job satisfaction and reduced quit rates by a third, particularly benefiting non-managers, women, and employees with long commutes. Managers initially skeptical about hybrid work
Go figure.
have revised their views. They're having some second thoughts, finding it actually increased productivity. Chad, they might have been listening to us. How do you feel about this news on hybrid work?
Yeah, I think it just makes sense. I think it's a duh moment. I think it's a treat your employees like adults moment. And again, for more context, jump a little bit deeper into this. The study happened over 6 months, as you'd said, from August 2021 to January of 2022. The study participants were chosen randomly and divided into on-site work groups and a hybrid work group. They either went into the office every day or they went in on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So this is a hybrid where you were able to work twice, 2 days from home. Now, quote, one of the things that you said, no differences in productivity, performance review grade, or promotion. So a hybrid schedule led to measurable improvements and higher job obviously they were happier at the end of the day, and then a third higher retention rates. What don't you want to do? I don't want to interview more people. I don't want to hire more people. I don't want to replace, the stud who literally just wants to work from home, or she wants to work from home. I want them to be happy. So, then there was another article in Fortune that outlines a new study that reveals where jobs with work from home options have better stock returns. Again, productivity, retention, and happiness equals money, right? So to me, again, this just seems like a no-brainer. I don't know why companies keep fighting it, but we're still watching companies fight this. Why?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
All right, so let's do some auditing for a second. Hybrid work, productivity up, employee satisfaction up, fears in the C-suite unfounded, cost efficiency up, work-life balance improved, health and well-being improved, inclusivity improved. So remind me exactly why we're being forced back into the office. Oh yeah, it's Elon's morality question. We're being immoral by not coming back into the office. Look, the data's out. The excuses are getting fewer and farther between. The bottom line is if you're a company not embracing work from home, hybrid work, then I don't know, Gene Wilder might have a message for you.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
The thing for me was that some of the contributors, the contributors that really helped success in this experiment was top management supported it, even the CEO, right? So they wanted to see what was going to work best, right? So they supported hybrid work. They supported work in the office, whatever they were doing at that point. So the company also made its hybrid work days consistent across the team. Again, this is not a willy-nilly kind of thing. You come in when you want, come out when you want. There's got to be some structure to it. And I think structure sets expectation for human beings, because that's what we like. We like structure. We like expectations, because we like to know when we're supposed to be in. So it gives some semblance of freedom. And thanks for, treating us like adults half the time. So, at the end of the day, I've said it before. We go from remote back to return to office. We try to get gas engines and go directly to electric, right? We try to do all of these things in this knee-jerk reaction. Why don't we try hybrid? Why don't we try hybrid and try to maybe walk it into remote, or try hybrid and try to walk it into electronic vehicles, right? I mean, that to me, as human beings, we just need to stop the knee-jerk bullshit.
Yeah, I think, when as this issue is unfolded, I've always thought that you're going to have companies that are full on office. You're going to have people that sort of hybrid, will do the office 3 days a week, at home 2 days a week, and then you'll have your businesses that are full remote. And to me, what this is evolving to, if you're doing it right, is all three. So based on what your employees want, you have an answer for that. So if you have a 25-year-old recent grad that wants to engage with people, be in the office, then they can do that. If you have people that, I want to go into work, but not every day. I want to have Friday to myself, or I want to have Monday to recover from the weekend. They can do that. If you want to go live in Burlington, even though our office is in Boston, you can do that too. I think the most successful companies will have an answer for all three of those groups. And I think that we're slowly unfolding and evolving to that reality, which I think is great. And these data points support all of those trends. So I'm happy.
More experiments.
Diversity, inclusion, helping women, people with disabilities, older, everyone wins in this. And the technology is there that you can do it and not lose, and you'll make more money and be more productive. So I got nothing, man.
Well, and if you take a look at it, if we do crack down on immigration and we don't have as many people coming back or coming to be able to drive work and actually support work in the U.S., because immigration has been our superpower. Every single other country and or group of countries, their inflation's higher. They haven't been able to snap back as fast. We were able to snap back incredibly fast. And one of the biggest contributors is immigration, because we had people to do those jobs and get right back into those jobs. So if we start to push that back, we're going to have something that fills those roles, right? Not all of those roles are hybrid and or remote roles, but there's going to be some movement of talent from here to there. And there's going to be a need to be able to look at some of those hybrid roles more.
You don't have to come to America. We'll employ you in whatever country you are, is a powerful message. And it's something a lot of companies are going to have to come to grips with, because yes, immigration will be a topic at least for the next 2 years. So get used to that. Let's take a quick break. This is an abbreviated show because Chad and I have been up most of the night, if not all night, watching the election and getting drunk, hungover, drinking too much coffee. So we will be right back after this message.
So you posted a new job ad. Now you can sit back and wait for the applications to roll in, right? That's why we built JobPixel. Imagine showing candidates why your company is great with real people, real stories, and real culture. With JobPixel, it's not just another job ad. It's an invitation to something much bigger.
Video gives you a 3 times better response rate. So instead of chasing after candidates, they'll be coming to you.
And with a 34% boost in conversions, candidates aren't just looking, they're applying.
And if you're worried about people clicking away, don't be. Our videos reduce bounce rates by 25%. That means they're watching, they're engaged, and they're interested.
282% more engagement? Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger inbox.
Finding the right candidate is tough, but with JobPixel, it doesn't have to be. Show your company's authentic story, and the candidates will follow.
Let's make recruiting fun again, because honestly, it could use some help.
Do you want to see how JobPixel can save you time and money while achieving your KPIs? Schedule a demo today.
All right, Chad, let's talk a little LinkedIn. They reported a 10% increase in revenue for fiscal first quarter, reaching $3.23 billion with growth across all business lines. Looking forward, LinkedIn anticipates a similar revenue growth rate in the next quarter. CEO Satya Nadella of Microsoft highlighted strong user growth in markets like India and Brazil and introduced LinkedIn's AI-powered hiring assistant that Emmy and I talked about last week. Chad, what are your thoughts about the money printing machine that they apparently have at LinkedIn?
And by the way, I love me some Emmy. She did such a great job. I feel so comfortable just not being on the show every now and again. You're going to have to take some time away so her and I can spend some time, by the way. Okay, so quick quote from the actual article. Member growth continues to accelerate with markets like India and Brazil both growing at double digits. That's pretty amazing. Although there's got to be some more long-term growth that LinkedIn's looking at, and they're looking at total addressable market expansion. Which means LinkedIn is rolling out a new coaching feature in LinkedIn Learning that uses text and voice to enable users to practice skills such as delivering performance reviews, having conversations, and work-life balance, right? So we've talked about this, but the most important thing about this is that we have the business revenue stream, and then we have the individual revenue stream. And LinkedIn makes a good amount of money on both sides. And we don't really have many platforms that are out there today. Take a look at Indeed. Indeed does not monetize the job seeker, right? LinkedIn monetizes the job seeker. I'm not a big fan of it, but when you start to actually create these types of features and or products and services, I think it makes more sense, right? Just a resume writing thing, big deal. Anybody can do that now with the Chat GPT. But what about the coaching side of the house? I think for me, this is good for LinkedIn, at least from the standpoint of taking a long-term look. We see all these emerging markets, India, Brazil, growing double digits. And then we're also doubling down on something that we're doing well already, and we're increasing the TAM there. So good on LinkedIn.
Yeah. You know, you and I talked pretty extensively a few years ago when they were, their monopoly plan. The monopoly plan to crush everything that's innovative around using LinkedIn.
Yep.
HiQ obviously is a case that we talked quite a bit about. And one of the risks that we said was there is, look, if LinkedIn crushes all innovation, all competition, they're going to be a sewer of non-innovation because they're going to have the field to themselves. Fortunately for them, they have an easy button called OpenAI and Microsoft's relationship with that technology. And I think that you're seeing the AI, the hiring assistant, anecdotally, everyone that I've talked to in recruiting that uses it likes it. I know we've been on the ATAP conversation where people are using it and liking it, and now they're taking that to another level. They're growing. They're growing into other countries. I think India is a huge market. South America, I think, is going to blow up. Africa is next, so Africa is still there. You mentioned the learning piece, which is, I think, exciting, but ultimately, I feel like, in the bigger picture, LinkedIn feels like a social network that hasn't lost its shit. I don't feel like they've gone off the deep end with political stuff. They've implemented a TikTok-y type video product, which is pretty good. I'll click on a video, and before you know it, I've gone through like 50 videos, and it's about like recruiting and marketing, and it's content that is not what I get on TikTok. So I'm more engaged than ever with LinkedIn. Recruiters seem happier with LinkedIn than they have been in a while. So I think this is full steam ahead for LinkedIn. I think Indeed should be a little scared if they actually turn the spigot on job search and giving companies that power. But yeah, we're going to continue to see profits rise at LinkedIn. Things are good. And I don't see any reason why the train and the good times won't keep going.
Yeah. So the learning side upskilling. That's big right now. It's going to continue to be big. So again, I see them aligning on the upskilling side. And there can be a couple of different things. You've got the enterprise license for your current employees, or you have the individual license for somebody who, just wants to do it themselves. But yeah, when it comes down to the TikTok side of the house, yeah, they're starting to implement some of those things, which is great. I really would love to see them finally use the data that they have access to on the profiles to be able to understand, contextualize, and give me jobs that make they don't make sense. They don't make sense. They send me crap all the time. So if they can utilize any one of these parsing, matching types of systems that are out there, the text kernels of the worlds, the Daxtras of the worlds, or maybe even create a large language model within OpenAI, then great. But Jesus, man, you got to do better there. You got to do better there. Indeed's not doing better, so you gotta. And you've got all the tools to do it.
And by the way, if they happen to slip in the occasional big bootied Latina in their video feed, I won't complain. I won't complain.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
We'll be right back.
Hospitality is the heart of our society. It brings people together to share great food, drinks, and experiences. But successfully managing a restaurant or hotel is no easy feat. That's where Harri comes in. Harri is the frontline employee experience platform that helps you build, manage, and engage great teams. With Harri, managers can easily find and hire top talent, manage timekeeping, and communicate with employees at any time from any place. Candidates and team members can quickly and efficiently apply for jobs, swap shifts, and access important information entirely from their mobile devices. And Harri's robust employee engagement tools make team members feel more connected than ever. With Harri, as an owner or operator, you get a bird's eye view of your business, from turnover cost, labor cost, employee sentiment, compliance risk, and team performance. Run your business better by understanding the power of your people. Because when your team is the heart of your business, Harri is the heartbeat. See how it transforms your business.
All right. Let's have a little Halloween Back to the Future on this one.
There it is.
During a Halloween-themed all-hands meeting, Google executives, including CEO Sundar Pichai in costume, discussed cost-saving measures and headcount efficiency. So, a little awkward for a Halloween-themed hands-on meeting. They addressed reduced hiring due to economic conditions and a focus on AI. Chad, this is a whole new level of ghosting. What are your thoughts on Google's all hands, all Halloween, all the time, serious meeting with employees?
So this article comes from our friends over at HR Grapevine. If you're not subscribed or what have you, it's one of the sources that Joel and I actually tap to be able to do this show. But yeah, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, he called on Googlers to quote unquote strive to do more in 2025 and beyond as a part of the push for greater efficiency, which you said earlier. Tell me that's not a thinly veiled threat, right? Then Brian Ong, VP of Google Recruiting, spoke on changes to Google's hiring at a time when many tech employers are reallocating significant resources toward investment in AI. His comment then, quote, "There's a reality to it. We are hiring less than we did a couple of years ago," end quote. So that's interesting because we've known and worked with people at Google over the past couple of decades, and it's all about resources for them. So when Google deemed their talent acquisition products, Google Hire and Google for Jobs API, were less of a revenue driver than Google Cloud, they reallocated resources and shut down the TA products. That's what happened, kids. So for years, there seems to have this constant reshuffling of talent and resources from product to product. So for me, Sundar's thinly veiled threat and Brian Ong's his paraphrase, AI is here for your job and it's not safe. That to me is the velvet hammer. They're literally coming out and they're being nice and fluffy. They're saying, but you got to strive to do more. Oh yeah, I don't know if I said it or not. We have AI. It's the Velvet Hammer, Google's Velvet Hammer.
You done messed up, Aaron!
So the CEO wore a T-shirt that said "Error 404, costume not found." How dorky was that? And the CFO,
you have that T-shirt though, right?
No, I don't. And the CFO wore a Reggie Miller Indiana Pacers jersey, which I thought was kind of funny.
Bad form.
But yeah, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall with the CEO. Everyone dressed up, very, very awkward. Look, techies are scared, man. I mean, these people aren't stupid. They hear the Amazon Q stuff. They hear the Jassy stuff around how much money and man hours they're saving with AI and coding. And development. They hear the quarterly earnings reports where they talk about 25% of all new code at Google is generated by an AI. If I'm a techie, that says your job is in jeopardy. And they kind of sugarcoated it like, no, we like find new projects. You may not need 10 people, maybe you need 8, but it's not going to stifle innovation and opportunity. But look, these people aren't stupid. I mean, they kind of see the writing on the wall and they're concerned about it and they're scared. People at Google live a pretty good life, right? And they have for a long time. And once you start shuffling that deck and the shuffling the chairs on the Titanic, people get scared. And it came out in all places at an all-hands meeting where the CEO was wearing an Error 404 costume not found
Halloween
T-shirt. Like how Silicon Valley, if you love that show, that's straight out of that fucking show. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Jassy, again, the Iron Fist, Sundar, the Velvet Hammer.
I don't have a good joke, Chad, but I'm going to throw a joke in since we're still on Halloween.
Okay.
What is a mummy's favorite kind of music?
Rap and roll?
It's just rap. Yeah, rap. Rap and roll's not a thing, old white man.
Okay.
Enjoy Portugal. Enjoy the waves. I'm going to take a nap. We out.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar. Blue. Nacho. Pepper jack. Swiss. So many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!